Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ZSPN, and today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers as concerns certain players that are going to be the X factor going forward once the NBA restart begins for the Los Angeles Lakers. I just want to give you guys my thoughts and my opinions about particular players in mind that could be the X factor, basically the third option, if you will, that will basically take the Lakers to a next level, because obviously when it comes to certain players, there's always the top players, and that is LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But there's always that third, maybe the X factor type of player that will basically change the game, if you will, if somehow the Lakers are in a rut or somehow they just want to boost a little bit of their lead, if you will, if they're in some sort of a circumstance, when they're in certain games or going into the playoffs, if you will. So I just want to give you guys my thoughts and my opinions about it. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. Now, guys, before I get into my X Factor player for the Los Angeles Lakers, let me be very clear about my selection of my X Factor. I just wanted to say, when it comes to the Lakers in general, all players in general that's on this roster, they need to step up, regardless of who is the first, who is the second, who's the third option, who's the X Factor for the Los Angeles Lakers. I just want to say that all players involved, when it comes to any sort of scrimmage or any sort of, if the Lakers are down by certain points or if they're up by a close margin, all players in general, they need to step up. Okay, every single player needs to step up. So with that being said, I mean, let's just get to the details of who the Lakers rely on when it comes to winning games. Obviously, we have two of the best duos in the NBA right now, and that is LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Okay, those were the two guys who basically led the Lakers this year to the number one seed and finally going back to the playoffs for the first time since 2012, I believe. So it's been a long time since the Lakers were ever in the playoff picture in quite some time. So with that, you have the two best superstars in the NBA on the Los Angeles Lakers in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But when you think about some other certain players in mind, you have to think about that third option. Somebody that will just rely on that superstars like Anthony Davis and LeBron James would rely on when it comes to certain situations. What if they're possibly tired, or if they just need to take some rest and they just want to rely on certain players to have a little bit of an edge for a certain lead that they're on. They just want to rely on that particular player. Now, obviously, there's two players that unfortunately will not be participating with the Los Angeles Lakers, and we already know this by now, and that is Avery Bradley and, sadly, Rajon Rondo, who suffered I believe a hand, maybe it was a thumb injury, the same injury really that he's been dealing with for the past couple of years now, and he'll be out for almost 6 to 8 weeks. So we possibly will see him again, possibly in the playoffs, but still remains to be seen about that. So guys, with that, those two players will be out for the Los Angeles Lakers. But there are still some players that still on the Los Angeles Lakers, and more added addition to the Los Angeles Lakers. And as we all know, J.R. Smith signed with the Los Angeles Lakers a couple of weeks ago, and bringing him in will help the Lakers a little bit when it comes to finding someone who is a similar type player in Avery Bradley and J.R. Smith. But honestly, guys, if I have to say who will be the X factor for the Los Angeles Lakers when it comes to moving forward to the NBA restart of the season and going into the playoffs, assumingly you always go to a particular player, and that is Kyle Kuzma. because Kyle Kuzma, throughout the before even the season ever started, everyone predicted that Kyle Kuzma will be the third option for the Los Angeles Lakers, the basic X factor for the Los Angeles Lakers when it comes to winning games, and somebody that you can just rely on when it comes to being that third option. But unfortunately, we haven't been seeing that for Kyle Kuzma for quite some time. And hopefully, once the NBA restarts, I mean, we can see a whole different version of a Kyle Kuzma, if you will. So that's somebody to really look forward to when it comes to that particular X factor. Secondly, there is Danny Green. Okay, Danny Green is the type of guy that you would obviously rely on when it comes to being the shooter for the Los Angeles Lakers. That sort of third option, if you will, that when it comes to relying on certain players like that when it comes to shooting and making a basket go through. So Danny Green is in that conversation for that particular X factor. And then you have KCP, who this season is playing very well. I mean, for the past couple of years, he hasn't been living up to his expectations when it comes to, being that type of shooting guard that, defends and also shoots very well. And when it comes to this season, I mean, I don't know what he's been doing, but, obviously he's been, shooting very well, playing good defense, and it just shows when it comes to, his ability to really participate with this Los Angeles Lakers team. So, KCP is the type of X factor that you should also look at when it comes to relying upon. And you never know, he could potentially start for the Los Angeles Lakers, possibly. But, still remains to be seen who will be the starter when it comes to replacing Avery Bradley in the starting position. So, but once that happens, I'll obviously deliver it to you guys on this channel when it comes to that particular update. So, KCP is on the mind. And then you'll have somebody who could be a big man, if you will, that you also could rely on. Now, I'm thinking about, Dwight Howard when it comes to his defensive ability. That sort of X factor if the Lakers are down by maybe like 4 to 6 points and you need a lot of defense to come in and, stop the offense from, scoring on you. So, Dwight Howard, and then you have JaVale McGee. And then you also have Markieff Morris. Okay, Markieff Morris has been well known throughout this season, basically his career, if you will, that his defensive ability has always been very high class when it comes to that. And, having him being that defensive power to basically defend every single offense that comes his way, it's just one of those type of players that you can also rely on being that X factor, if you will. So Markieff Morris is in that conversation. And unfortunately, when it comes to Rajon Rondo, I can't really say how he will be the X factor because, he will not be playing for quite some time until possibly the playoffs. But, playoff Rondo is always something to really enjoy when it comes to his playing ability. So, and that still remains to be seen if he still has that. But, that's something that we are looking forward to when it comes to him playing very well in the playoffs. But, still remains to be seen about that. But there's other players in mind that you can also think about as well. There is Dion Waiters. Okay, the guy can shoot, and he can be very aggressive when it comes to playing any sort of players who are aggressive as well. I mean, when it comes to his mentality and how he plays, honestly, when I think about certain players like Patrick Beverley, if there's somebody on the Los Angeles Lakers that I would love to see guard him, it would be Dion Waiters. Okay, the guy brings that toughness and that dog in him to anybody, and particular when it comes to certain players like Patrick Beverley, and seeing if it's possible once the Lakers face them in the Western Conference Finals. Dion Waiters is somebody that I would love to see him guard on occasion when it comes to facing off the Clippers in the conference. So that's somebody to really look forward to, and Dion Waiters could be that sort of X factor for the Los Angeles Lakers. And honestly, it's just one of those type of moments where you just have to, appreciate certain players like him to have that sort of a dog-like type of ability to guard anybody, and will not be bullied when it comes to that. So Dion Waiters is somebody in mind. And then I brought up J.R. Smith in the conversation, but we already know the greatness of how J.R. Smith plays when it comes to him shooting, and there's a little bit of a weakness when it comes to him guarding and being defending wise. I mean, sure, in the past he used to be a good defender, but at this, you never know. He hasn't been playing for almost like a year and a half now, so that's something that to really see if he still has that ability to guard. But shooting wise, I have no doubt in my mind that he still has it in him to deliver. So J.R. Smith, you never know, he could be that X factor for the Los Angeles Lakers. And guys, I'm mentioning every single player that could be the X factor, and it is the possibility. But, it's kind of hard to say who will be that X factor. It could be KCP. It could be Danny Green. It could be Kyle Kuzma. And, it could be Markieff Morris, Dwight Howard. You can name them all. Even Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso's defensive ability, when it's all said and done, I mean, he will bring it to you. But unfortunately, it's very hard to say who will be that X factor. And I can't really give you guys who's that number one to be that X factor for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I keep on saying X factor, but it's kind of hard to not say it. So it's kind of hard to say. But guys, if I had to say who would be the X factor for the Los Angeles Lakers, I would honestly say it would be Kyle Kuzma. Surprisingly, I can't believe I'm saying that, but because judging by what we've seen from him for this season so far, it hasn't been great. But if somehow the playoffs rolls around and a championship is on the mindset for the Los Angeles Lakers, I honestly believe that Kyle Kuzma could be that guy to just come in and just be that sort of X factor for the Los Angeles Lakers and be that third option that we all wanted from him to be from the beginning. And guys, like I said in the beginning, every single Lakers on this team, even LeBron and Anthony Davis, they all need to step up. But when it comes to those two superstars to have somebody to rely on that could be the X factor, I can honestly say it is Kyle Kuzma. But in general, all Lakers that are on this roster, they all need to step up. They all need to bring that mentality, if you will, maybe the Mamba mentality, to just go in and just play the best basketball that they have left in them, and just compete. Because this is once the NBA restart begins, it all rides on the Lakers to win a championship, because this is their only moment for them to really achieve that particular goal. Because it just has to happen. It just really does. And I just hope that when it's all said and done, all the Lakers on the Lakers roster, they will all step up and bring their A game when it comes to the restart and going forward with the playoffs. And I just really can't wait for this Los Angeles Lakers team to finally start playing Lakers basketball again, and hopefully things go well health-wise for the rest of the Lakers squad. And I just hope that everyone just, in general, they just bring their A game, and hopefully it does happen. And I just really can't wait when it comes to the restart of the NBA. And I just really can't wait to see Lakers basketball again. So, guys, please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel, share my videos all over Facebook, Twitter, all the good social media stuff. And, guys, please give me your thoughts about who is the X factor for the Los Angeles Lakers. Who do you think that will step up for the Los Angeles Lakers when it comes to, Anthony Davis and LeBron James needing a rest, or if they just need somebody to rely on when it comes to scoring for them, or being a good defender so they can come back and score for the Lakers? Who do you think? Could it be Danny Green? Could you maybe Kyle Kuzma? KCP, Markieff Morris, Dwight Howard, Alex Caruso, Dion Waiters, J.R. Smith. I mean, please give me your thoughts of who will be that X factor for the Los Angeles Lakers, but particularly the third option, if you will, for the Los Angeles Lakers. Who do you think that will be? Please comment down below. Give me your thoughts about it. I really want to know your opinions about that particular X factor for the Los Angeles Lakers. Who do you think it will be? Please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel, and guys, I do appreciate every single one of you for showing me the love and support for my channel every single time that I upload, and when it comes to my social media sites, you guys continue to show me the love and support on that particular platform as well. You guys are just an amazing audience on YouTube, and when it comes to the support, continuously you guys keep showing me that, and I do appreciate it. I just really want this channel to grow to become one of the best YouTube sports channels on this on YouTube, and I just do appreciate every single one of you for continuing to show me the love, support every single time I upload, and you guys are just an amazing audience on YouTube, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers, and guys, please stay safe out there, and hopefully you guys are in good health, and I just hope you guys are just doing well out there in the world, and just please continue to stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.